Hey everybody, Kim here with Little Biz Resources, and today we're still talking about affiliate marketing. Chrissy's on with me, and she'll pop in as she has questions, or she wants me to clarify something, or she just wants to tell me to shut up and move on, whatever she decides. And she's like, I'm already telling you to shut up and move on. But anyway, so today, for those of you who have been getting your emails or looked in the group recently, you know that I've been talking about Commission Hero Pro because that's coming up. Now, I am going to be the first to tell you, you do not have to get it, though I do highly recommend it if you can. And we're going to talk more about that to get started because that is a limited time, right? Affiliate marketing is not limited, but Commission Hero Pro is limited. And in fact, as you'll find out, he does, Robbie Blanchard is the guy who owns it, and he does another one called Commission Hero. And that one I can get you guys in pretty much any time. Well, usually. But Commission Hero Pro is the first time it's offered. And so this is a launch time and he's going to close it after it. Okay. So let's talk about well, before we jump into talking about what Commission Hero Pro is, I want to talk about two main factors for affiliate marketing that we haven't really touched base on. And that is finding the right audience and getting the right product in front of the audience, right? Because that's pretty much all of sales. You want to get a product that people want and you want to get it in front of the people who want it, because that's the only way you're going to make sales. And that's the challenge with affiliate marketing. That's the true challenge. It was funny. I read an article the other day as a quick sidetrack, and it said affiliate marketing is really hard. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Affiliate marketing is probably the easiest, the easiest non-e-commerce, right? I wouldn't say affiliate marketing in e-commerce is super easy, though it's not hard. It's just affiliate marketing is probably the easiest online making money opportunity. And there's been this like convergence more recently of really good products. This has just been the last couple of years. We've gotten a lot better products, better prices, and for both, there's higher ticket ones and lower ticket ones. So you have both the high end range and the low end range. You've got a good variety. Now, I'm not saying there's not crap products out there. There are definitely crap products out there. I buy plenty of them, but there are good products finally on a regular basis. And that is something that we hadn't seen in affiliate marketing for years. So, and it's a lot easier to find the audience now. So while it is a lot easier, there's still challenges, and those are the challenges: getting the right product in front of the right audience. So let's talk about Commission Hero Pro, and then we're going to talk about why specifically I like this, right? So it is affiliate marketing training from Robbie Blanchard. It shows you 3 steps to make $1,000 per day or more. Guys, the 3 steps, he talks about that in his free training, right? It's not like you have to buy it to get 3 steps. He talks about it in his free training. So I do recommend that. And I'll talk more about that in a second. So this is affiliate marketing. You don't need a product because they're not your products, right? They're somebody else's products. You don't need a website. They're going to buy them through somebody else's website. You're just providing a link, right? You don't need an email list, though I will say over time you want to build an email list. And I'm sure Robbie will teach that because Robbie does that, right? And you don't need experience. You don't need experience to get started. If I would say out of all of the different online business models that I've done, and I've done a lot of them, the easiest one to make money on is affiliate marketing. The second easiest is e-commerce, but requires you to have inventory the way we do e-commerce. The third one would be selling your own services, but that one requires a lot of sales, right? So that's the challenge. All of them are challenges, but it just depends on what you're really good at. So if you're really good at networking and selling, then you probably want to do your own services. If you are like, hey, I have no sales skills whatsoever, and I have no idea what I want to do, and I don't have money for an inventory, but I don't mind investing a little bit in training and maybe some ads, then affiliate marketing is good for you. And if you don't have money for training and you don't have money for ads, get our free course, right? Get started with our free course. You can definitely make money doing it. It will take time, and we'll talk about that in a second. So Robbie Blanchard already released Commission Hero, as I mentioned. This is the pro version with much more in it. So yes, you'll learn the Commission Hero focused only exclusively on Facebook ads, right? And so with the pro version, you're getting access to the Facebook ads training, you're getting access to YouTube ads training, which by the way, I have tested without Robbie's input, just from another guy who kind of gave me he's trying to sell his software, which is amazing, but his training on running ads was lacking a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I love him. He's really good. The other guy is, but I needed more help than he could provide, right? So But I did really good with the little bit of information that I had. I just don't have the confidence I need. And that's part of what these courses are really good at, is helping you build your confidence, because then you know you're doing it right. I mean, that's one of the scariest things to do when you're running ads, is like, hey, am I doing this right? I mean, I know there's still an element of testing, but at least if you're part of a community that is, teaching a specific way, they can go, wait, you're doing it wrong. This is what you need to do. Right. That's one thing I really love about these courses like this, is that you get that community and that feedback. So in addition to Facebook and YouTube ads, you also get native ads, guys. I took a free native ads course. It's through some other thing that I do, right? That I've paid for. And they're like, oh yeah, here's a bonus. This training oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't pay for the training. It was horrible. It was just like native ads general, right? So he's like, well, and here's some native ad platforms you can go on. So I had to work my way through native ads on my own. And I get there and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, right? And after getting denied like 3 times, I finally changed it to what they wanted. And it was just simple. It was, I wanted to cut out a word that was in my title because I wanted to keep it shorter. And so I'm like, oh, and then finally I figured out that it's because the title and what I was submitting didn't match, right? So I finally get there. I put like $100 in it. I got tons of traffic, right? Tons of traffic. The only problem was my page didn't have any reason to convert. I just was testing it because I wanted to see if I could get traffic. I did. I got a couple of email signups, weirdly, from it, directly from it. And I was able to track that and everything. And guys, if we get to that part, if you guys do this and we're all doing it together, we'll get to that part, and I'll make sure that if there's little pieces of information like that Robbie happens to leave out that I've tested and done, I'll share that information, because that's what we do. So in addition to those paid ad platforms, he also has free traffic methods. Now, I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of this information on the free training. His free training is really, really good. Really good. I mean, I love watching his Commission Hero thing. It's from like 2 years ago, right? And you guys can get access to that. Don't worry. I actually have that set up. If you want to see his original Commission Hero training, you can see that. I'll make sure there's a link I'm going to put this on YouTube. So you guys, if you're on YouTube watching the recording, just look in the description. And if you're in wherever else, I'll also post it underneath it as well. Right. So if you're in the members area or something. So, again, this is a $2,500 product, and that's a lot, right? His Commission Hero is like, I think 1,000 or 1,500. So it's obviously more because he's teaching you a lot more, right? He's providing a lot more resources. He's giving you all that information. And if you can't afford it, that's okay. Don't worry. You can get started with our affiliate marketing course for free, right? Just get started for free. We do not teach. Oh, well, I'm going to talk about that just a second. I'm going to skip ahead. So you're like, wait a second, why should I pay for a course if Kim's got one for free? Well, first of all, this is my first effort at building the course. It's not tested and proven yet. That's where you come in, right? Just to go through it, let me know what questions you have, what I'm missing. Oh, hey, Kim, you forgot to tell anybody what affiliate marketing is in the course. No, I'm pretty sure I did put that in there. But if I didn't, tell me, right? Number 2, I do not teach paid ads. I don't. I mean, you guys, I have to take Robbie's training because I don't know paid ads. But I've also made sales without paid ads, but not to the level that I'd like to, right? And I'm like, man, I'd like to kick it up a notch. And I know that paid ads is the next step, which I'm getting ahead of myself again. But anyway, the bulk of Robbie's training is, of course, paid ads. So that's one of the main reasons why you would want to get it is, hey, I'm going to be learning paid ads, which, by the way, if you're like, hey, I want to learn paid ads, that's not e-commerce, by the way, because e-commerce paid ads is completely different now. So if you're like, hey, I want to get this just to learn the ads, that's a skill. You're learning the skill on Facebook, YouTube, and native ads. Those are skills that you can charge for, right? So these are all things that even though he's promoting it a specific way, you are learning skills that relate to other areas. Now, Robbie is the #1 ClickBank affiliate in the world. He knows his stuff. And that was funny because I read something or heard somebody talking about it. I think somebody who competes with his course, and they're like, he's not the #1 affiliate in the world. He can't prove it. Guys, the CEO or whatever he is, Justin, I cannot think of his last name. He's with ClickBank. He's basically their spokesperson and everything. He's like a big part of their, he has confirmed that Robbie is the #1 affiliate in the world. I've been on live trainings with him when he said that recently too. So Robbie's not lying. ClickBank confirmed that, right? So if somebody tells you he's lying, they're not. That's not the way it is. Now, that doesn't mean he's the #1 selling person of all time on everything, right? There's another network called JVZoo, but I've looked at the numbers on JVZoo, and the #1 affiliate and #1 vendor on JVZoo doesn't even come close to the #1 vendor and #1 affiliate on ClickBank. So the #1 vendor, for those who care, on ClickBank is Aiden and Steve, right? They're the #1 vendor on ClickBank. So those are both, Robbie, which is the #1 affiliate, and then Aiden and Steve, who's the #1 vendor, which FYI, they're promoting Robbie's product. So, you've got the #1 vendor promoting the #1 affiliate's now vendor product, right? So that's the world that they're in, and they all promote each other's stuff, but these are good products. This is why we promote them. We don't promote products we don't like, right? That is shady, by the way. I've heard of people go, well, you should be able to review it and say whether it's bad or not. Well, that's fine. If you're just doing a review, that's okay. But you don't do a review and then promote an alternate product, right? I see that all the time, and that's called negative marketing. And that's usually, most affiliates don't like that. They don't even like if you make something else negative, somebody else's, right? Now, if it's really bad, and I'll try to warn you guys, but for the most part, if it's really bad, I just don't talk about it. I just don't, because I don't have enough information usually to say for sure. I just don't usually like it. So at the bare minimum, I do recommend that you check out his free training, and you get his free book, and you can sign up for the free training at littlebizresources.com/chpro. Okay. So littlebizresources.com/chpro. All right. So now let's do the next. This is a question that I hear, not just about commission here. Okay. This is about like everything, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether it's selling your own services, it's your own, you have your own business. It doesn't matter what it is. This is the #1 question in all the groups I'm in. Everything bubbles up to this. Why paid ads? Why can't I just do free traffic methods? Well, I didn't put this on here, but first of all, before we jump into why free traffic isn't always free, guys, all of these platforms are run by huge corporations that make money, right? They make money. Facebook started out completely free without ads on it, right? Why did they implement ads? Because that's their monetization method. And then as they started making money from ads, what did they start doing? They started reducing the organic reach. So an organic means basically free reach, right? So if you post an ad on your Facebook page or on your business page on Facebook, you now get a fraction of the reach that you used to get. That's just the way these platforms are. Google owns YouTube. They own Google, right? So the search engine, they own a lot of things actually. And guess what? They used to make it so that you got the most relevant information in your searches. Now you get the stuff that people pay for. Oh, not just the sponsored ads either. Your organic, so your non-paid sections, are all based on strategies now that require backlinks, branding, and traffic. So really it comes down to branding and traffic, because that's what your backlinks do, is they brand you and they supposedly drive traffic. So again, you've got to think about this. That Google has said, look, we're going to start. Guess who's the ones that are at the top? Big brands that are paying Google for ads. So you can't get away from it. If you want to get seen, you're going to ultimately be paying for ads. Now, yes, there are some free traffic methods, but free traffic isn't always free. For example, in search engine optimization, SEO, it requires a ton of setup, right? You got your website, you've got all of your optimization on your site, you have paid backlinks, or you have to have other resources to help with creating backlinks, which costs money. Right? There is no free way to really do SEO anymore. Now, then you have to wait 6 months to years for most things to move, especially if it's really competitive. Though I will say we do have SEO methods that speed this up, but they're not free, right? Everything even though we're like, hey, we can make it so that you can move within like a month usually, or even faster. I use SEO for launches, which is almost impossible to do, right? It's almost impossible to do because all of these big dogs have been there forever, and they've kind of got the market on that. So I've been able to beat out top SEO gurus with this method. It's not free, right? That's what happens with free traffic methods, right? I'll give you another example. Pinterest, which recently, last year or the year before, I can't remember which one, they went public, which means that they took their company from private to publicly traded, which makes it a public company. I have so many arguments on why this social media shouldn't be public, but that's neither here nor there. And what they did as soon as they went public, guess what happened? Your organic reach went down. So now you have to pay for ads or pay for strategies to make yourself visible. Now that doesn't mean there's not free strategies out there, but they do take a long time, right? And here's why. So let's look at normal conversions on, we're going to use e-commerce because this is a number that I'm really familiar with and I've been able to pull up, right? So Chrissy and I, we both have Etsy stores. So Etsy is a marketplace, which means that our conversions will be higher than a normal conversion. So 2% is what a good conversion rate on Etsy, 2% to 5%, right? And I'm going to say 2% is probably pretty average. I know Chrissy tends to be higher than that, and I was actually higher than that during the holidays, but I've since dropped down to 2%. So I'm back down to normal, right? So let's look at some numbers. How much traffic do you need? Now, Chrissy, can you see my calculator?
Calculator? Yes. And for the record, my conversion rate is usually around 4 to 4.5%.
Yeah, so that's not a ton, right?
But
But let's
remember, I have a good amount of people who follow me and already,
right,
so that's
right,
higher
right,
than the average person we get.
right. So 2% is probably pretty standard. I'll tell you what, guys, in e-commerce, now remember, e-commerce means people are looking to buy something. So the conversions are going to be higher than most sites, okay? So or most places. Now, if you're looking at an affiliate product, it's you could get a 50% conversion rate or a 75% conversion rate because the idea is by the time they're getting to the sales page, you've trickled out everybody who's not going to buy and just the buyers are going to the sales page. That's cheating if you're looking at conversions, right? You want an accurate conversion. You have to look at the number of people that you would be, say, emailing, right? So how many people buy from your email list? And in e-commerce, you can expect for cold traffic, which is people probably not on your email list, you can expect 1% or less on an e-commerce site that's not on a marketplace. So like if you have a Shopify store, a 1% conversion rate is a pretty good conversion rate on your Shopify store. So now that's not across the board. There's definitely industries that are better than that, but I'm just telling you guys, look at these numbers. These numbers are low percentages. There are lots of strategies to get them up and all things that we can talk about, but let's just look for cold traffic. And this is just to give you guys an idea of a number. We can use any number. We use 30% if you wanted to. The whole point is to look at numbers. So we're going to use 2% because we know that there's a marketplace that can show us that. So I don't know why I just moved my sticky note. That's not going to help us at all. So let's say that we want to get 20 people to buy, okay? And we said that it's a 2% conversion rate. That means we need to get 1,000 potential buyers in front of it. Right now, if you're doing something, we'll talk about this when we talk about blogging here a little bit. But if you're doing just pure content stuff, your percentages are going to plummet. You're going to be lucky if you get like a 0.01%. Right? And it's just the way it is because people who are looking for content aren't looking to buy. So we're going to have to assume, even with the 2% conversion rate, that we're targeting buyers. So we need to get in front of 1,000 people before we see 20 buyers. Now let's see if we wanted to get, so even if at 100, right? So we want to get at 100, we're going to do, and this is really easy for most people, and I just want to do the math to show it. So it's actually 0.02. So 0.02, that's 2%, right? So 100 times 0.02, that's 2 people out of every 100 people that go to your site. All right. Now, when you go to Pinterest, let's use Pinterest as an example. Pinterest, now the conversions get even worse. Guys, this is where it starts to get depressing with free traffic. But again, it can work. But Pinterest isn't a click on the thing to buy, right? Pinterest is a pin. So a pin, you have to get in front of a number of people before they make the click. Okay, so let's say that it's the same ratio. Maybe 2% will actually make a click before they even will they look at your pin, and maybe 2% will go, and it's actually, I think, lower than that. But we're just going to, again, use a number. So now we need to have 100 people look at it just to get 2 clicks. So if we want to get 100 people to our site, right? We want to get 100 people to our site. I'm not really sure the best way to do this. Basically, we need, hold on, I can do this backwards. So if I have 2 people and I want to get 100 people to my, that means 100 people. I have to get 100 people to my site. If it takes 2%, if that's 2% of people who are clicking through, I have to get 5,000 people to look at my pin to potentially make 2 sales. right? And it's probably lower than that. So we probably need to get 10,000 people to look at our pin. Now you go, wait, so what? I'll just put the pin on there and wait for it to get in front of 5,000 people. That's not the way Pinterest works, right? That's not the way Pinterest works. This is not the way YouTube works. This is not the way Google works. This is not the way Facebook works. And Facebook's probably a better example since we'll be talking about Facebook, same percentages, right? You need to get 5,000 people to look at your post. What happens when somebody doesn't click? So let's say you get 150 people that look at your post and nobody clicks on it, which is completely, that's common, right? Facebook stops showing it to people. That's what they do. So you can never get to the point where you get 5,000 people looking at your post. So instead, you end up doing more posts and hoping that eventually one of them will get enough traffic. Or you do what we do and we manipulate it by driving people to it artificially where they wouldn't normally see it. Hey, click on this Facebook post and like it, right? We might do something like that, which we'll talk about strategies to do that later on. Chrissy and I are still currently testing, and that's part of the challenge is we don't want to be giving you the wrong information yet. We don't want to give you the wrong information ever, but so think about those numbers though. 5,000 people viewing a Facebook post in order for you to get 2 sales. Now, how do you overcome that? You overcome that with paid ads. And the reason why is because paid ads give you an opportunity to get in front of specific audiences, right? You can go in, and we'll talk all about this when we talk about our marketing later on, but we've done this in the past. We've got some of it sprinkled throughout our training, and I'm sure some of you guys, if not all of you guys, have taken some sort of training that teaches you that, you know, you need to create an asset, you put it into the ad, and then that you use Facebook's algorithm will help get you in front of the right person. But I'll tell you what, I have spent plenty of money, and this is why I hate Facebook ads, right? I think I dropped like $300 once on it was 2 different ones testing it. I didn't get I got one person that messaged me and asked me a question and had nothing to do with what I was doing. I don't even know why they messaged me. So I spent like $200 or $300 on ads and didn't get a single opt-in, didn't get a single, I mean, I got some clicks to something, but I didn't get a single opt-in, didn't get a single purchase, didn't get anything. And this was, of course, when I was doing some testing on some training from another guy, and I was like, this is ridiculous. It's just too expensive on Facebook. And that's why I really do not like Facebook. But you know what? If I were going to do Facebook, I'd follow Robbie. That's who I would follow, because Robbie knows how affiliate marketing is really, really hard. For those of you who don't know, I mean, really, really hard on Facebook. I should clarify that, on Facebook. And the concept of affiliate marketing is super easy, but on Facebook, they make it really convoluted because you cannot promote your link. You really can't promote much of anything on there. They want content. So you have to get creative with Facebook. And that's why I don't like it. Now, Pinterest lets you use your link, but they also reduce your reach when you do that. So it's one of those things that it's like, you kind of have to play a happy medium, where it's like, well, yes, I have to pay for ads, and yes, I probably need to use some free traffic methods, but at the same time, you need to understand that it's going to take money. It's going to take money no matter which way you go. You can do 100% free. Don't get me wrong, you can, but that will take you a very long time. If you wanted to get 5,000 people, now I'm going to say you're probably going to need 10,000 people, right? And let's say that on average, I get about 20 views per pin. Isn't that kind of sad when it's organic? 20 views per pin. Now I have some ways to get that up to about 100. And then Pinterest just loses interest. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. It's just one of those things. You just got to keep testing and testing and testing with them. But let's say that we can get 100 views per pin. That would be 100 pins, right? That's 100 pins for the exact same content, guys. I can't even tell you how much time that is. That's a lot of time. I mean, it's by the time you get a really good image that's unique, you get a good description, you've done all the research on your keywords, and you make sure you have your right hashtags. I mean, you're probably looking at, I don't know, 2 hours per pin. Let's even say an hour per pin. So 60 minutes. I could have probably just did times 1, huh? I probably get the same amount. So 100 hours. You're looking at 100 hours. So you divide that by 40 hours a week, you're looking at 2.5 weeks to promote something. And guess what? Your launch is over by then, which I don't really recommend Pinterest for launches. But even if you're willing to spend that amount of time, you know, if you're willing to spend 2.5 weeks setting up just pins to be able to drive free traffic, then sure, then you can do it free. but you're still going to have, it's still going to, and of course our Pinterest course teaches methods to reduce that time and everything else. And so everything I'm saying here is if you wanted to do it 100% free with no help from anybody and no paying for resources or anything else, you would probably spend a lot of time doing that. So, and I'm saying an hour per pin is probably more than that, because if you want completely unique pictures and you're not paying for any type of software, you're gonna have to go take your little phone out and go and take a lot of pictures, right? Of unique, very unique things. So anyway, Chrissy, so based on what you've seen so far, do you have any questions at all?
No.
Well, do you disagree with my paid ads versus my free ads discussion?
Well, it's always going to be you're trading time and money in some way. So, I mean, free takes a lot of effort and you're going to get less results from it usually. So, it's hard to say. You're distracting me.
Is Nick distracting you in the
No,
background?
you are. You're distracting me because you're
Oh, I'm
clearing stuff
sorry,
off.
sorry.
It's hard to say that, yeah, one way is better than the other, but in reality, I mean, I use free options for a lot, but nowadays it's harder to get what's blogging.
I know, blogging.
It's harder to
Sorry.
get it's hard to get stuff from free, I mean, like, unless you're you're doing something that is in high demand and you already have people following you or whatever, then free might be easier, but paid will get you those followers and people doing actions basically.
Right.